The EU's response to 1.1 million Syrian refugees seeking asylum across Europe in 2015 included a series of sanctions, financial assistance, and highlighted the ineffectiveness of the 2003 Dublin Agreement when responding to large waves of refugees. Contrastingly, the EU reacted with unprecedented unity and speed in 2022, when 5.2 million Ukrainian refugees entered Europe. The response included strongly condemning the attack, delivering 6 packages of sanctions, financial assistance and humanitarian aid, as well as providing temporary protection in any EU country for permanent Ukrainian residents. Our team will suggest that geopolitics and differing timelines explain these differences in EU response. Now, over to Zoe for comment on the V4 state reactions.
Thanks, Cleo. In 2015, the V4 states demonstrated strong resistance and a lack of solidarity by vetoing the EU's quota policy to disperse migrants throughout the EU. Contrastingly, in 2022, the V4 demonstrated European integration, and each lacked objection to the EU's activation of the 2001 Temporary Protection Directive, in effect opening their borders to Ukrainians. One explanation is the V4's initial positive racial and cultural perceptions of Ukrainian refugees due to a shared Eastern European physical and cultural feature. While Ukrainian Prime Minister Viktor Orban maintained the stance in 2015 that receiving Muslim invaders would cause unwanted multiculturalism, he argued in 2022 that Ukrainian refugees are sought after as they are like other Eastern European countries, thus not disrupting the hegemonic status quo. Furthermore, the emotional reaction to Russia's invasion of Ukraine as more of a European threat, combined with existing geopolitical ties between Ukraine and the EU, can explain the enhanced solidarity demonstrated by the EU and V4 policy approaches to date. Important examples include the EU's offer to invite Ukraine to apply for EU membership, as well as Ukraine's proximate geographical location and history of Ukrainian migrants in each of the states. Now on to Dr. Ben Wellings and Zoe for comment on how these two crises are not comparable.
At a similar moment in the 2015 crisis, perhaps the full reaction to the movement of people across the EU had not set in yet. And certainly we haven't had it tested in any major election, which is where things started to show in terms of a reaction to Angela Merkel's own policies.
Thanks, Ben, for that insight. Following on, in the 2015 Syrian crisis, 7 months after the German Chancellor Angela Merkel stated "we can do it," public opinion and pressure caused the end of Germany's open door policy. In contrast, the Ukrainian refugee crisis is still in its early stages, and unlike the 2015 crisis, there is a real possibility of Ukrainian refugees returning home. Comparing the two responses may be premature. However, the aforementioned dissimilar positive racial and geopolitical public opinion towards Ukrainian refugees may not result in the equivalent backsliding in policy responses. Additionally, there may be fear of continued invasion from Russia into EU member states. The EU may also be intimidated from Russia's growing sphere of influence as they look to increase their population through a demographic war. Ultimately, the EU might feel a unique threat from this crisis, resulting in a more integrated response.